Episode 40. My conclusion. I woke up panting, disoriented and confused. Who was she? That wasn't me. Dreams have a way of bringing reality into it. They feel so real and intense. I couldn't explain it. Was it a revelation, or is my fear catching up with me? Fear of not knowing what is on the other side of life. Fear of not trusting God enough. Fear of questioning God's will in gold-plated. Was my dream in any way related to psalmist? If yes, what does it mean? I thought I had my answers the previous day, but with this dream, I became unsure. These were questions running through my mind, and despite praying, counseling, and binding, I still wasn't at ease. I decided to call psalmist to hear about his conviction, and if I could hear God through him, subject my fear to the knowledge that God was working through with me in this decision. After a long narrative from psalmist, I felt at peace within me. While I prayed for my future partner before even meeting him, asking for him to be God's lover, shaping my expectations on him through prayers, God was taking notes, and I am glad he answered my heart cries. Not only did Oliver find other ladies unappealing in his wait for me, but he also refused to be distracted. I was glad I waited, but I couldn't have done it without placing my fear before God to instill patience in my partner to wait. As the book Praying for Your Future Partner tells, while I prayed for any positive traits in my future partner's life, God instilled such a trait in me too. I can't help but notice how God saved me from the collapse due to Sammy's prayers that night. Peradventure, I wouldn't have lived to write this full diary. God has proven his love countless times towards me, and this right here isn't any different. Jeremiah chapter 1 verse 5a says, "Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart." God knows me and has scripted my life in a special way. Likewise, each and every one of us. He is very much aware of you. Never think otherwise. He loves us that much, I assure you. If you are still wondering if or not I accepted Sammy's proposal, be assured I key into God's way. Smile. I intend to share my diary on the marital journey with you someday. My prayer for you is that at God's appointed time, he will bring forth your kinsman redeemer to you, just like he did Boaz, just like he did mine.
Epilogue. Waiting on God's timing in marriage can be challenging yet a rewarding experience. It requires patience, faith, and trust in God's plan for our lives. But when we choose to wait on God and believe what he has told us about our future partner, we position ourselves to receive the greatest blessings of all, a fulfilling and God-centered marriage. It's important to understand that God's timing is not always our timing. We may feel anxious or discouraged as we wait for our future spouse, but we must remember that God's ways are not our ways. His timing is perfect, and he knows what is best for us. As we wait for our future partner, we must also believe what God has told us about them. Maybe God has given you a specific vision or a word about our future spouse, or maybe he has simply placed a desire in our hearts for a certain type of person. Whatever the case may be, we must hold on to these promises and trust that God will fulfill them in his timing. Trusting God in the waiting season can be difficult, but it's essential. We must trust that God is working behind the scenes, orchestrating the circumstances of our lives to bring about his perfect plan. We must trust that he will bring the right person into our lives at the right time. And we must trust that he will give us the wisdom and discernment to recognize that person when they come. So, If you find yourself in a season of waiting for your future spouse, know that you are not alone. God sees you, He hears you, and He has a plan for your life. Remember to hold on to the promises God has given you. Believe what He has told you about your future partner and trust in His perfect timing. As you do, you can have faith that God will bless you with a marriage that is abundant and fulfilling. During dating and romantic relationships, it is easy to get caught up in the excitement, the chemistry, and the emotions that come with falling in love. However, for those who desire a truly meaningful and lasting connection, it is important to recognize the vital role that spirituality plays in nurturing a deep bond. Prayer, as a powerful spiritual practice, has the ability to transform and enhance every aspect of a relationship, including the romantic dimension. It is therefore important for individuals to master the art of praying fervently for their partners and relationships. Prayer is a direct line of communication with the divine, enabling individuals to seek and align themselves with God's will. In a dating relationship, praying together allows couples to invite God into their union, seeking His guidance and wisdom. By humbling themselves before God, couples can surrender their desires and intentions, inviting Him to shape and direct their relationship according to His perfect plan. Prayer is not just a means of making requests, it is also a pathway to intimacy with God and with one another. As couples come together in prayers, they create a sacred space where they can open their hearts, express their vulnerabilities, and share their love and faith. Don't spend time having unnecessary pleasure in a relationship, but rather invest the time in praying for your ambitions and dreams for that relationship. It does a lot to the individuals and relationship as a whole. It's not too early to begin interceding even for your children. You could pick a particular day in the month to fast and put yourselves in prayers. Whatever the issue is, don't spend time complaining. Rather, spend time praying. My life, single or married, is about Him and how I reflect Him each day. Are you willing to wait? If you know that God's best for you means waiting until you are 25, 30, 40, or never, are you willing to trust Him? Are you willing to live the life He calls you to? Are you willing to let Him be the lover of your soul? If the story has blessed and touched your life, remember to say a word of prayer for the author, Rahila Johanna Bauer, the writer of this story inspired by God, that God never departs from her life. To contact her, you can reach her via her email at rahilajohannabauer@gmail.com, Facebook page Rahila Johanna Bauer. Thank you for reading with me. God bless you. And please do well to drop your testimonies, and also feel free to download and share this audio. Once again, thank you.